Breaking news! The 2024 season is over for the Miami Dolphins, but the front office is already looking ahead to the 2025 draft. And believe me, we'll have some surprises that will get fans excited. I'll tell you all the news in a moment, but first make sure you've already hit the like button if you're a true Miami Dolphins fan. If possible, comment something like, "The Miami Dolphins are in my heart." First, let's address the burning question on every fan's mind. What will happen to Tyreek Hill? Will the Dolphins really consider trading their star wide receiver, or is this just off-season hype? The situation is not as simple as it seems. The Dolphins currently sit $2.5 million over the cap, but there is hope to create a significant cushion of $25 to $40 million by restructuring contracts and potentially releasing some high-cost players. If the front office plays its cards right, that number could go even higher. But here's the thing. Tyreek Hill's name has come up in these discussions, and fans are understandably divided. Trading Hill would free up a massive amount of cap space, but it would also mean losing one of the NFL's most dynamic playmakers. The big question here isn't whether they should trade him, it's whether they will. It's a gamble, to be sure, but one that could reshape the Dolphins' future. Now, shifting focus to the quarterback situation. There's growing talk that the Dolphins need to bring in a more reliable backup for Tua Tagovailoa. Some fans have even suggested a bold move, trading picks for Justin Fields. But here's a twist. Fields is already an NFL free agent, so there's no need to part with draft capital to acquire him. However, according to insiders, Fields likely won't be a realistic option for Miami. Why? It's expected that another team will offer him a prove-it deal worth around $10 to $11 million, making him a starting quarterback somewhere else. So, what does that mean for the Dolphins? It leaves them with several other names to consider, including Jameis Winston, Mason Rudolph, Andy Dalton, and Drew Lock. Among these, Rudolph seems to be an intriguing option. He's been one of the more reliable backup quarterbacks in the league, capable of stepping in and winning games when needed. But here's an interesting twist. The Dolphins could look to the NFL draft for a developmental quarterback, and one name stands out. Jackson Dart from Ole Mississippi. Dart is already generating buzz as a potential second or third round pick. He's got size, accuracy, and the ability to make jaw-dropping throws, though his decision-making needs work. Some analysts see him as a top 3 quarterback prospect in this draft class, and Miami might take a chance on him as a developmental piece while also signing a veteran backup like Rudolph. It's a smart move that would give the Dolphins more depth and flexibility at the most critical position on the field. Speaking of the draft, fans have been asking if general manager Chris Grier will finally prioritize the offensive line. The answer seems to be a resounding yes. Grier and head coach Mike McDaniel both acknowledged in their postseason press conference that improving the offensive line is a top priority. The team struggled with injuries and underwhelming performances on the line this past season. Isaiah Wynn and Liam Eichenberg didn't provide the stability the team was hoping for, and the return of key players like Austin Jackson and Connor Williams won't be enough to fix the issue. The Dolphins will need to invest in both guard positions to strengthen the interior line. Don't be surprised if they use one of their second or third round picks on alignment. But there's an X factor in this equation. Teron Armstead. The veteran tackle's potential retirement could force the Dolphins to make even more drastic moves. If Armstead retires, the team could save over $10 million against the cap, but it would also leave a massive hole at left tackle. Regardless, the Dolphins can't afford to wait any longer to address this glaring weakness. The message from fans is clear. If Grier doesn't fix the offensive line this offseason, patience will run out. Now, let's talk about the leadership duo of Grier and McDaniel. The consensus among fans is that next year is make or break for both of them. If the Dolphins miss the playoffs again in 2025, it's hard to imagine either of them keeping their jobs. In fact, some are saying even a first-round playoff exit wouldn't be enough to save them. The Dolphins haven't won a playoff game in over 20 years, and fans are tired of waiting. Grier has been with the team since 2016, and many feel that his time is up if he can't deliver postseason success next season. The stakes couldn't be higher. This offseason will be crucial in determining the future of the franchise. Will the Dolphins make the tough decisions needed to build a true contender, or will they continue to tread water, stuck in mediocrity? Fans are watching closely, and expectations are high. Let's shift gears to another name generating buzz. Calais Campbell, the veteran defensive lineman, now 37 years old, is reportedly considering a return to Miami if he decides to play another season. Campbell would bring not only leadership and experience to the locker room, but also solid production on the field. Pairing him with players like Jaylon Phillips, Bradley Chubb, and Zach Sealer would give the Dolphins a formidable defensive front. Adding another run-stuffing interior lineman to the rotation could make this unit one of the best in the league. Bringing Campbell back quarterback seems like a no-brainer if he's willing to suit up for another year. Now, Dolphins fans, it's your turn to weigh in. What do you think about the possibility of trading Tyreek Hill? Is it a smart move for the future, or would it be a mistake to let go of such a talented player? And what about the quarterback situation? Should Miami sign a veteran like Mason Rudolph and draft a prospect like Jackson Dart? Lastly, do you believe Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel deserve another year, or is it time for a change? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let us know where you stand on these big questions. The offseason has just begun, and there's plenty more to come. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for all the latest Miami Dolphins news, rumors, and updates. Your voice matters, and we want to hear from you. Let's dive even deeper into this Tyreek Hill situation. There's no question that Tyreek is one of the most electrifying players in the league. His speed, playmaking ability, and knack for game-changing moments have made him a cornerstone of this Dolphins offense. But let's be real here. The NFL is a business, and Miami's front office is well aware of the financial balancing act they need to perform to stay competitive. Trading Hill could create substantial cap relief, but it would also send shockwaves through the fan base and the league. So, what's the likelihood of this happening? First, let's look at the numbers. Hill's current contract carries a hefty cap hit over the next few seasons. If the Dolphins were to move on from him after June 1st, they'd save a significant chunk of money that could be used to address multiple areas of need, such as the offensive line, depth at quarterback, and defensive reinforcements. However, the timing and the potential return package would be critical. This wouldn't be a decision made lightly. It's not just about freeing up cap space. It's about what the Dolphins would get in return. Would they be able to secure high draft picks? Could they land a younger, promising player as part of the deal? The other side of the argument is simple. How do you replace someone like Tyreek Hill? You don't. There's no one else in the league with his unique skill set. He's a player who can turn a routine play into a touchdown with his speed alone. Trading him would undoubtedly change the dynamic of the offense and would put even more pressure on Tua Tagovailoa to deliver without his top weapon. This is where things get tricky for the Dolphins brass. They have to weigh the long-term benefits against the immediate impact on the team's performance. Let's not forget that this isn't the first time the Dolphins have faced tough roster decisions. Just a couple of years ago, they were in a similar position with Xavier Howard, their star cornerback. The team ultimately decided to keep Howard, restructured his contract, and it paid off. Could we see a similar approach with Tyreek Hill? Maybe. But one key difference is that Hill's value might never be higher than it is right now. He's coming off another stellar season, and if the Dolphins believe they can get a massive return, they might just pull the trigger. Now, let's circle back to the quarterback situation because it's all interconnected. The Dolphins need a backup quarterback who can step in and win games if Tua goes down again. The names being floated around, Jameis Winston, Mason Rudolph, Andy Dalton, are solid options, but none of them are long-term solutions. This is why the idea of drafting a developmental QB like Jackson Dart is gaining traction. If the Dolphins can secure a young quarterback with upside while bringing in a veteran to provide stability, it could set them up for future success. And remember, this isn't just about the moves the Dolphins make. It's about the vision for the future of this franchise. Are they building a team that can compete for a championship, or are they just treading water? The answers to these questions will shape the Dolphins' future for years to come. Let us know your thoughts, and as always, fins up!